You hear the light of the cars and the beat. You know what time it is, fan of the drive. I'm your co-host, Sibulelo Zgufa, and I'm joined in studio by my co-host, Christu. Christu, say what's good to the people at home.
What's good, people?
Well, Saudi Arabia.
Not so much.
It was what it was.
It was what it was. That's one way of putting it.
It was what it was. Another Red Bull 1-2, but a very spicy one in this case.
Yeah, Checo winning on street circuits.
Yeah, and then having the fastest lap taken from your boy at the last lap. He robbed Latino Heat again, even though he won.
He is consistent though. I mean, he got his pole position within, I think it was 2/100ths of a second from last year. It was a really good time.
He's very popular on the Saudi Arabian circuit. But it was good for some people at Red Bull. Terrible for some. I think you've seen the meme of old boy Joss. a little out of the ways. You know, we said this last season even. Remember when that statement came out on Max's website of how he's the team needs to be focusing on letting Max win and things like that. So I don't understand why people are surprised that he wasn't happy.
We knew, yeah. We knew this all along.
Joss has always been that guy. So we just need to stop making excuses for your boy. Allow him to live his life.
People were even joking after the race saying Max is walking home tonight because of that race incident where he didn't win.
God, his dad used to punish him like that. You telling me the story.
He got dropped off at a garage or something, got left there.
Joss! The common consensus is that he's not a good guy on the panel, that guy. They don't feel him.
No, Joss is,
they don't rate him.
He's not the best sportsman, let's put it that way.
He needed to do better. Anyway, listen, going into Australia, I'm not necessarily optimistic going into Australia for us.
I think you guys should be, because look at where you placed compared to Ferrari. I mean, Ferrari have only been going backwards. You guys have gone a little bit forwards.
No, we've gone backwards, but for some reason you guys have gone backwards further than us.
No.
Which is different because we were moving the whack way last year.
Yeah, the W13 and W14. Did you see that Toto said, I don't care if it looks like a Red Bull, as long as it's fast, I'll put a little logo on it even.
I think last season, I remember we had this discussion where I was like, winning cures everything.
Yeah.
And they sick at Brackley right now. They sick. Because when you get used to winning it every year, back to back, and then the heavy hitter engineers leave, and then a few other people leave. Now it's not so easy to win as it used to be. And we're seeing the best. A
lot of Mercedes engineers landed up at Aston Martin, and the second in charge of aerodynamics at Red Bull, I mean, basically... they're
buying the championship.
He was basically Adrian Newey's understudy, like his protege.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Went over to Aston Martin, and you can see it showing.
That's what works. Dog, if you win championships, they're going to come for your staff. It's just only natural.
It's a Mercedes engine, Red Bull aerodynamics.
But listen,
perfect package.
Toto did something there that I didn't like. He joined that stupid culture of writing letters.
Oh, yeah.
He wrote another letter.
See, this is one thing I can respect about Ferrari bosses throughout all the years of shit, is they don't write letters.
What the hell is this letter going to do, bro? We're going to change, we're going to fix the car, we find it, we have to go. And I'm like, Toto, I don't want to hear this nonsense. You had the entire off-season to figure out the car.
Yeah.
And you failed dismally. Damn it, man.
Lewis is out there complaining that the engineers or the designers didn't listen to him. And
you know what? Do you know what a roller coaster I've been on the last 7 days? Since the end of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix.
Okay.
You understand? I was watching that race now with some optimism in my heart. Even though I saw that garbage qualifying that we went through. I was optimistic. I was like, you know what? Might pull something out of the water here. Maybe. Got the brake speed off us.
Yep.
Suspect at best strategy again.
At least it wasn't like Ferrari that pitted way too early before the safety car. Put the boys on hard.
I won't lie, boy.
You guys had better strategy than that, at least. Common sense did prevail at Mercedes, but not at Ferrari.
No, Doug, I'm telling you, the team is crumbling. I think those pillar teams are crumbling from the inside. Because the mistakes that are just happening do not make any sense, dude.
I know, it's very weird to see what's going on. I mean, McLaren, for instance, one of those pillar teams that's always been in the top 4 or 5, suddenly at the back.
Zach Brown deserves. I'm wearing y'all's colors, but Zach Brown deserves it. Zach Brown deserves
Moneybags
it.
Brown.
Zach Moneybags.
Next year, that
paper
car's
bag
going to have
Brown.
no sponsorship. It's going to be back to clean papaya.
That meme, there was a meme where they call him 007, 0 wins, 0 podiums, 7 new sponsorships.
Jim.
He's that guy where the team is falling apart. I don't think Toto's ready to handle because he came in and then they started to win.
Yeah.
Now the house is on fire. So
yeah, it's ever since Andreas Seidel left. I honestly think Andreas Seidel was
the glue that held McLaren together.
He was the main reason they did so well for as long as they did, competing with Alpine and like fighting for 4th and 5th.
Because they're a disaster.
Fighting Ferrari at one point even.
They're a disaster. They're a mess.
No, they're fighting Williams.
Yo, medical mess diagnosis. That's the McLaren team
Imagine being 2 laps down on a Williams car.
And you know, Piastri was actually moving the nice way. Like in quali, he looked like he was moving the nice way.
And then what was his final place? I think it was like...
Yo, he was in the bottom 15.
Like, I swear, yeah, P16.
Somewhere in the mix. They did a whole
and
year
Lando
game.
was like P17.
Right there next to him. Lando was right there next to him.
Not going well over at McLaren.
Me, I'm just waiting for them to axe Zach Brown. Because they fired Danny. Let me tell you, the person who's enjoying life right now is Daniel Ricciardo.
I don't know if they would fire Zach Brown though. I honestly don't think McLaren would.
He makes money. Depends if the
way too good at it, yeah.
If the owners at the top want to win, they need to fire Zach Brown.
I mean, he's still Oscar Piastri away from Alpine. He brings in all the sponsorships with Google Chrome and all of that, like main title sponsors. So.
They forgot the main component of racing, the car. You can't, everything is a fashion show, it's fun times, happy time on Drive to Survive. What's happening with the car? The main thing that actually makes this thing go.
Yeah, I hear you.
Because Danny's enjoying, they gave him 10, 20 bar. He's driving the Red Bull on dirt. He's living his best life. Maybe Zach needs new hair gel.
Yeah.
Maybe he might be struggling. Doug, we need to talk about Charles Leclerc.
Do we have to?
Yes, we have to, because you have to explain to me why he quit. That is the equivalent of quitting.
I don't know. I think, honestly, they haven't solved shit with that reliability issue.
There's too much, Doug,
I think he knows it. And I think that's why when they realized they're not going to place on the podium, he was behind Sainz, and they were behind both Mercedes, Alonso, and Red Bull.
Doug, the entire...
He was just like, why? I'm not going to break my engine because then, 3 races down the line, 10 grid penalty?
Bro, let's look at this. The entire off-season, going into testing, the main talking point was that you guys fixed the reliability issue in the engine.
Somebody lied. I think somebody got fired. If they haven't been fired, they're about to be fired because Ferrari are mad as all hell.
I'm worried about the Charles, but also the stress I'm worried about is I don't know if it's the media or the marketing lady that follows those drivers around after when they do their interviews. She is stressed beyond all belief. Because after every Grand Prix, something's happening.
Yeah, literally. Literally.
Every time something happens with Ferrari, I'm waiting to see her reaction because she clutches her phone like I say. It's on today. It's on today. But what is this being taken? I mean, both Sainz and Leclerc took the engine, the new.
No, it was just Leclerc.
I thought they both took it in order to avoid risking.
Sainz didn't have a penalty. No.
Oh, okay, it was just Leclerc.
It was just Leclerc.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Sainz, what happened to Sainz? Sainz he just fell off the wayside out of it.
Yeah, I don't know. Leclerc, that was in starting P13 or 15.
Pushing his way up the grid.
Finished behind Sainz, just behind him.
Can I tell you how upset I am? I thought I was going to get a repeat of Silverstone, a little Hamilton and Leclerc action.
Racing with Hamilton and George even, and then Leclerc coming up from behind. Because this time, it was going to be much of the same thing. It was
Please don't mention Double Agent George.
Hamilton on softs, it would have been Leclerc on hards again.
not Double Agent George, dog.
Shirtless George.
Not Double Agent George. That's why they gave him the trophy just to take it back. They gave him the trophy just to take it back. Yeah. That was ultimate FI. The Alphabet Boys took another L home today.
That was shithousery on another label. Honestly.
No ways, bruh. Into getting 7 different instances shown to you by the team you're penalizing. Like, what is happening at our favorite president's headquarters? Mohammed bin. What is happening at the FIA? It's like a house on fire.
He's in the shadows, causing all kinds of shit, dude.
Dog, I saw another awkward moment I want to show you. at the Audi launch,
Okay.
when they were taking the photo, it was him, Stefano Domenicali, and then I think the Audi executives,
Yeah.
and he wants to take a photo, and he's like trying to put his hand like around Stefano, and Stefano hits him with the other side.
Get off me.
And then you have to do that awkward stance because you can't move away. They're already taking the photo. No, he's a Popeye, that jet, bruh. No ways, no, Mohammed. You should have came after Hamilton, boy. I would have left you alone, but you had other desires. Moving on. Moving on. Oh, I found out. Did you hear about why the Porsche Williams deal?
No, I just saw it was off. What happened?
Apparently, Porsche wanted too much control without offering up too much.
Well, it was Williams they were trying to partner
I mean,
up with.
yeah. But apparently there was another team that they were also looking at. But it's one of those pedigree teams, like the ones that didn't necessarily want to give away their legacy or situation like that. So the word on the wire is that their chance to join F1 might be gone for the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, no more Porsche. But we knew that.
I mean,
as soon as they announced Audi and then the Ford and Red Bull deal, I knew, like, there's no way that Andretti Cadillac is even happening. Like,
but those are
Audi and Ford in F1?
those are two new teams you could bring into the team. Like, those are two nice brand new teams that will bring more money into the sport. Why are they so stingy, these gents?
Budget caps.
The budget cap also doesn't make any sense.
It sucks.
Apparently the advantage for Aston Martin there, because now it's going to get like 40 hours of wind tunnel time compared to Red Bull's 25. Even though Adrian does make up that 15%. But apparently after the break, or when the time gets reallocated, if they're still in second place, like all that time they've been enjoying will be reduced.
Okay.
So the advantage over Red Bull won't be so major. So from a strategical standpoint, what would you do if you were Aston Martin? Do you want to keep pushing, or do you want to keep maybe fine-tuning the car until...
They're going to keep pushing. Because even if their wind tunnel time gets less and the other teams get more, it's not going to make a difference. They're just going to keep pushing.
Well, I mean...
I think it's fast as hell.
It's quick. This is why I don't get why the Merc one doesn't work.
It's a Red Bull car with a Mercedes engine. I've told you this. It's the perfect package. Like,
it's a Fusion high, boy.
Yeah.
It's a Fusion high.
Max wouldn't have had those drive shaft issues if he had a Mercedes engine in his car. Like, no jokes. They had one breakdown last year. Like, come on.
That's true. And he was struggling from qualifying. That's why he had that dismal starting position in Saudi Arabia. But remember, the funny thing is, all the stuff we brought up last year now. Remember we were talking about how if Perez takes control of the championship, Red Bull might have to back him. Way before they paid him. Way before they gave Checo that nice new deal. They gave him that new deal, and then they were like, Checo, you need to start moving out the way.
Yeah.
Now, he's in his last year of his deal.
Now he's 1 point behind Max.
1 point behind Max, because your boy snaked it.
Because of that controversial fastest lap.
We're going to get to that fastest lap a little bit later. We're going to get to that today. But I honestly think Perez needs to take the bull by the horns here.
It's his last year.
No pun intended. But go for the championship. He doesn't need money. He's already rich.
It's his last year at Red Bull.
Exactly.
So last year he's going to have a car that's a rocket ship, let's be honest. And that's why I sincerely think the gloves are off. I think it's going to be like team orders to Checo, and Checo's just going to be like, radios
no, I'm
not broken.
Just
you know what I mean?
Just end it right there, boy. No, Checo, if you go for a championship, I'm 110% behind you, boy. 110%. So, I mean, I won't lie to you, dog. I don't think Max will allow that. Or Joss. Max or Joss won't let. Either way, Verstappen is not allowing that to happen.
If Checo's leading the championship by the winter break,
watch what happens in Monaco.
Joss is going to be on the track, strapped to the start line.
Like those protesters He's going to be lying there, boy. Number 1 in his shirt across the starting line. Yes. He wouldn't let it happen, boy. No ways. But I think it would actually make interesting races because there's only that Red Bull seems to be the only team that's really competing at the top this year. So a little internal drama. I'm not saying we called it, but we called it.
So honestly, and I think you still told me like, you can't be this like over Ferrari. I said before the first race even, I think Ferrari are going to hit like P4 this year.
You're just so
from P2,
defeated.
I think we're going to go to like P4 in the constructors, and that's not one word of a lie so far. I'm
trying to find where the problem is. Like, who's messing things up? Because last year it was the strat. Now the car is failing repeatedly. And your boy, what's his
Ferrari
name?
also
Who's his
said
name? Javi.
that-
Is his name Javi?
Fabio, yeah.
Javi, the guy who's like giving poor late information.
Charles is engineer on the pit wall, yeah.
How can you do that
I
at
thought
clutch
they
time?
fired him. Honestly, I thought he was out of there, and then I heard him on the radio. I was like, how is this guy still here?
The remnants of Bonotto. I think Bonotto is self-sabotaging y'all from the outside, so you guys can bring him back.
Remember last year at Monaco when they called him in, and then they were like, "No, stay out, stay out." That was Xavi. That was that fuckhead. And they kept him. Honestly, I was flabbergasted when I heard him speak on the radio. I was like, "There is no way someone approved this. Like, this was an oversight, and it's probably going to be corrected soon."
No, you know what? We had this conversation in earlier episodes where we were like, you know what? Science is going to move. Hamilton takes that seat, then Charles and Leclerc can race each other at Ferrari. Yeah. I don't think that's a solid idea anymore. Because
Hamilton will never go to Ferrari because Ferrari aren't going to win in my lifetime.
that's the problem. You guys are not winning. But the problem is Merck has also caught that syndrome now.
Yeah.
Seeing the best.
The magic dust has kind of faded.
Listen, all good things come to an end. Listen, go unless they come with like maybe 2 years, 150
No, honestly,
million.
they lost a lot of engineers to other teams because obviously, championship-winning teams, people get poached from the competitors. I mean, you guys have lost engineers to Ferrari, to Red Bull, to
Well,
Aston. Like, you've bled engineers more than anyone else.
That's what, you know what I'm saying? Good artists borrow, great artists steal. Somebody said that.
It's just the way of the world. Like,
It's a complete change. It's a transition of power, man. But I don't think there'll be a dynasty. But I also don't think that this Aston Martin train of Alonso thing is going to last long. I do honestly think they're going to fall off.
I see a repeat of the Sebastian Vettel stuff. I see maybe four Red Bull.
4?
Yeah.
You're doing too much.
But I don't think they're ever going to get close to the Ferrari, Mercedes 7 and 8 constructors, you know what I mean?
That reign of dominance. Nah.
I don't think they'll get there, but they might do another, yeah. Honestly, look at how strong they are now. If they're this strong this year, you know next year they're strong again.
They have to finish
They're
the
going to be
season.
strong all the way into 2026, but they're not going to win it every single
They
time.
have to finish the season. That's the thing. These drivers might just decide, I'm sick of your bullshit, and then putting the car onto the wall and things done. The championship's done.
That. It might be like a Mark Webber, Sebastian Vettel kind of.
We all know how that ended.
It might end up that way, but like, they're still going to take a 1-2, probably. They didn't get it last year. Watch. This year, Red Bull are going to take it. Hopefully, Perez, Verstappen 1-2.
You know,
I'd take that.
I have to physically write off the season now because Toto says Merck is 6 to 12 months behind the rest of the opposition.
Yeah, because fuck knows why. So you guys made this side podless car last year.
It's not the side pods.
Okay, it was so terrible that they put it in the Brackley reception to remind themselves how shit it is. And then what did they do? They updated it for this year.
It's not just the side pods. There's more to it.
Oh my god.
Listen, dog, you know what? They just painted it black. You know what? I wish I didn't ask for that because I fed into that hype of just give us this, smoke and mirrors.
Meanwhile, it was weight saving. And that's all it was.
Dude, it's going to be another heartbreaking season. Merck's out. So Merck's out this year. It's finished. It's done. You might as well give these guys the championship already.
I told you, Aston Martin. Alonso is Max's biggest competitor. I mean, obviously outside the team, apart from Perez. It's Alonso this year.
Dog, let me tell you something. There's no way that team will be able to keep it together long enough. Yeah. The cracks in the seams are already starting to show. First few. You honestly think with that leadership structure there, Mike Crack? No, listen, Mike Crack now. He says all the right things. Sort of like, okay, we're not being too much. We're being like cautious. Want to see maybe the other teams or whatever. Yeah. The fact of the matter is, after 2 races, people are looking at you in the face like this. Yeah. We want to know, are you guys going to be the ones to challenge this season? So now, and Alonso is expecting a championship-winning car.
And now he's outperforming Stroll Jr.
Yeah, I think they're gonna fall
Daddy
apart.
doesn't like it. So.
Yeah, they might be like, give Stroll all the good stuffs.
Yeah.
Alonso must drive the
Updated parts go to Stroll first,
You know what I'm
even
saying?
though Fernando's way ahead in the championship.
So you see what I'm saying? So I don't think they'll be able to keep it together. I don't see Mike Crack as that like the assassin on court to be like, say, this is my house.
Mercedes fans better pray they don't keep it together because then that throws you into the fight.
No,
again.
we're gonna have another trash season and then GOAT's out of there. Okay, then also I can stop watching him drive next to Double Agent George.
And then where's he gonna go though?
Let's just take a sabbatical and come back when Audi's in the mix.
Yeah.
Once Bottas' 5-year contract expires and that seat's open.
Can you imagine he comes back and it's Audi with Hamilton and Schumacher? Like the old Mercedes days. People will be like, we see something.
I won't lie, that would actually be very exciting. That'd be very exciting. But yeah, he must go take 2 years off, man. Formula One's been stressful. He needs some downtime. He's already starting to wild out. You fired Angela.
I saw a stat the other day. It said Red Bull have now won as many races combined throughout their entire span of Formula One as what Hamilton has.
To summarize what he just said, 4 letters, G-O-A-T. Yeah. It's that guy, boy. That is a wild stat.
Yeah.
I did not see that coming.
Literally.
Yo, okay, let's get to Australia, fast track. I'm not feeling optimistic.
Okay, so let me lay it out for you.
Tell me the
McLaren are
story.
going to be dead last, 2 laps down.
They're the new Williams.
They're the new Williams. Something Ferrari powered is going to break down. So a Haas, Alfa, or a Ferrari, probably Carlos Sainz.
Oh, the bodyguard finished above Bottas again.
No, the Ferrari power units, I don't see.
Joe.
He's carrying Alfa Romeo this year.
He's the guy.
Bottas is literally happy being Nicholas Latifi this year.
Listen,
I've been paid, I'm not risking shit. I'll bring it home, guys, I'll bring it home.
boy, that's what Bottas is there for. He's been paid. He doesn't care what's happening.
I mean, he's got a mullet now. He's
He
got
even
a
designed it
mustache.
into his helmet. Not Valtteri Bottas being this guy. He's never been the guy. This is the problem I have with him. This is the problem I have with him. Okay, so McLaren are the new Williams, standard procedure. Albon actually is, I don't know what is in that Williams car, bro, but there's some juice in there.
Engine. It's also a Mercedes
Why
engine.
all the small teams figuring out, but the people who make the shit don't know how to make it work?
No, you guys know how to run that engine just fine. It never breaks down. You just don't know how to run everything else around the car. Aerodynamics, brakes, warming up tires, suspension geometry. You guys don't know shit when it comes to that anymore.
Maybe they should stop trying to figure out how negatively or positively charged paint particles mesh when you jank the S-Class and figure out how to build a race car. Oh my word.
Welcome to the Ferrari frustration.
It's only been 2 years, Brian. I'm already done with it.
Well, I think I've been doing this Ferrari thing for like 15 years, literally now. Since like 2008. I missed Kimi Räikkönen.
That was the
winning
last one. You just missed the window where you came in.
I came in at the deepest part of this.
You've only been living Ferrari's best moments in history, like just over the highlights, bro.
I know.
I know, tough times will always
tough.
last. I know, boy, I feel bad for you.
But also worth mentioning, AlphaTauri, absolutely nowhere.
Yeah. Tsunoda was trying something,
I
but
think he finished like 13th or
it
something.
was 11. Like, De Vries was nowhere.
Yeah, De Vries was nowhere and Yuki was outside of the top 10. I was like,
But he was fighting. I think he was fighting Magnussen.
I still think that Red Bull dipped their hand in that cookie jar. There's some budget missing there. Why is that car so slow all
Come
of a sudden?
on, man.
And it's got the same engine.
It's standard procedure. You gotta move the money around. It has to make sense, boy. That's why they're trying this budget cap thing, but that's just making it easy, bruh. Unbelievable.
Red Bull made up some wind tunnel time at the AlphaTauri side of things.
It's like, listen, this angle doesn't run the simulation real quick.
Yeah.
Quick.
Just confirm. We just want to make sure.
And the thing is, you know my views on Tost. Soft leadership.
Yeah.
Soft leadership. So he's not exactly the guy who's going to oppose Christian if Christian was like, you say, do this for me. But yo, Alpine, bro. Alpine is the sort of resurrected phoenix rising from the ashes under Gasly's leadership.
I don't know. They're still midfield to me.
I mean, they were always going to be midfield, but
They're
like,
still P5.
wait, I think Ocon finished above Gasly this race.
Yeah. So it is the French Revolution happening internally at Alpine.
No, listen, I'm telling you now, by the time we get to the summer break, F1 MMA is going to be a real thing.
I think Gasly's going to be far ahead. Like, Ocon got a little bit lucky. I think Gasly had some bad luck in the last race. And
No, Gasly's in demon mode.
yeah.
Gasly is in demon mode right now.
And also, Saudi is a weird track. It seems to suit like a handful of the drivers. The rest of them don't like it. Fastest, longest street circuit on the calendar. And they're like, no thanks.
Wow. Maybe the top line speed comes at the the end of the season, closer towards the end.
Maybe.
Well, Baku, we'll see, because they did 346 there last year. So let's see what they do this year. So Gasly, well done, sir. Well done. Wait, who did I put on the road to redemption last week?
Can't remember.
Who was on the road to redemption? Ocon! He actually did well. He finished in the points.
Actually, yeah, fair enough.
So I will give him that.
Didn't finish P14 for once.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe he didn't do much, but he did something. So kudos up to him. MotoGP came back.
Yeah, so that was an interesting one.
And you were telling me there was already some wild things going on. Race 1.
Italian domination. So KTM doing well as well with Jack Miller. Jack Miller came out of nowhere. And yeah, he was leading the race at one point on that.
Wasn't
KTM.
he at Ducati last year?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So for him to come onto KTM, it's like two completely different bikes, and he was leading the race at one point. It was a wild race. But I think like, you know, at least 80% of the top 10 was like Ducati bikes.
Damn.
Or Italian bikes. I think there were 2 Aprilias in the mix, and most of them were Ducatis.
How's our boy Brad doing?
Yeah, he did well. He was like 6th or something. Just behind his teammates. Yeah.
Consistently in the top 6.
Yeah, no, he's doing well.
Who caused the crash?
Marquez. Marquez caused the rookiest crash of the
You're
year.
talking about multiple-time world champion.
Yeah.
Marc Marquez.
Literally, he was on a hard front tire, and I mean, you can't push the bike that hard with a hard front tire. They take really long to warm up and get into the temperature range and whatever, and kind of just came in way too hot and like clipped 2 riders, took out the home favorite Miguel Oliveira.
No, I'm sure he was getting booed.
No, literally, he even like walked into the garage of Miguel Oliveira and like had his hands in the air, and the crowd was booing him. Yeah.
Don't take out the hometown hero.
Yeah.
It's not good for you.
But yeah, there was lots of crashes. Honda and Yamaha, they're nowhere, absolutely nowhere. Yeah, I don't know what's going on in Japan, but the bikes aren't that good anymore.
So we're looking at it might be a straight up Italian domination again.
Literally Aprilia and Ducatis. So much so that there's a new non-factory team that's running Aprilia bikes. I think in total there's 12 Italian bikes on a grid of 24.
Yesterday.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, gone are the days of the Japanese evolution.
Yeah.
Well, wait, how's in NASCAR? How's old Nicky doing? Kimmy, not Nicky.
Nicky, who are you talking about?
Kimmy Räikkönen.
No, Kimmy's doing alright. He's doing alright. Yeah, he's not a full-time driver in NASCAR. It seems like he's only driving a couple of races. Yeah, you don't see him in every single race.
That sounds like a Kimmy thing to do.
Yeah.
Have one pant leg in, one pant leg out. It's like, I'm kind of doing it, but I'm not all the way doing
Like, I want to do Daytona, I want to do...
I only want to do the ones that
like
matter.
the Indy 500.
And they just allow him, brother. Like, yeah, here's the keys, we'll go whip it. Oh, and also, I won't lie, this might be a dull moment, but I saw NASCAR on track taking actual corners.
Yeah, they do circuit races.
Yeah, I get that now. I'm saying, previously, I had
only seen them doing it in circles. Left turn.
You know what I'm saying? But there was actually a technizer.
Left turn.
And because you actually pointed this out to me, because I can't see the wheels turning.
Yeah.
It looks really weird.
It's not open wheel racing, so you can't see the ass, you can't see the car wiggle around as much.
It literally just looks like this thing.
It just looks like Sky Electric's cars. Like there's nothing sliding about. Everything's just on rails.
It's a strange one. It's a strange one. Also, bring back NASCAR on ice.
Yeah, please. Whoever decided to pull that, what are you thinking?
Yeah, we don't know what the original idea was for, but just bring back NASCAR on ice for us, please. We'll
Sounds
appreciate
like a
it.
good plan.
You know what I'm saying? All right. Well, going to Australia. Do you even want to do a 1, 2, 3?
Australia, 1, 2, 3. Verstappen, Perez, Alonso.
Right, I'm riding with Latino heat, baby. And plus, there's some rumors in the mill that the upgrades Merc are bringing to Australia are going to have massive effects.
Well, that's what Ferrari also said, but no one believes them anymore.
No, you know what? I don't trust you guys. Apparently, y'all didn't upgrade the car at all last season after a certain point.
Yeah, and only worked on this year and then completely ruined the car they had last year. Like, completely ruined it.
As a joke
So much
thing.
so that they're now moving away from the bathtub side pod design and also going to the Red Bull philosophy. So many hassles.
Right.
So many hassles.
Tafosi.
The F175 from last year, and I'm going to say this again, remains the fastest and most beautiful Ferrari we've had in a very long time.
Why did you change it?
Fuck knows. I feel like Matteo might have tried.
What was his last one of these for you guys?
Yeah, well, look, they started developing the car way before he got fired, you know. So this was definitely, Matteo had a hand in all of this. All of it. I blame the Red Clown. You're going to hear me mention the Red Clown for a very long time.
He's no longer there. The team must take responsibility, Chief.
It's going to take us like 3 years to recover from his shit show, though.
And then that conversation that Leclerc had with the team, the head of Ferrari, is there anything to come from that? Or was just that we need to get rid of this Sanchez guy?
I think it was pretty much like, what's going on with the reliability? Like, can we have some heads roll? How the fuck, race one?
Don't.
No, it was definitely... I think Leclerc is just trying to get some structure in the team. Because it's so political at Ferrari. Ferrari is the pride of Italy. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, essentially.
National news every day of the week. And like... I think he's just trying to get a good team together, and it's not happening fast enough for him.
Well, you signed your contract.
He's finally got his manager, Fred, managing the team. Like it's slowly falling in place, but Xavi needs to go. Xavi, literally, he has to be the first one to go.
Xavi's going to be there all season, boy. If they didn't fire him at the end of last season, he's obviously there for a reason.
And also, what's the new strategist's name? I can't remember.
I have no idea.
That Indian doctor of theirs.
It's no longer that...
He's a physicist.
I have no idea.
Anyway, not doing much better than Bonato's team, let's be honest.
It's just
putting
ass-housery everywhere,
Yeah.
okay? The teams that are supposed to be competing are not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I won't call it a dynasty because I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
But the seeds are being sown. But the problem is, can Christian Horner hold it together to win a couple more chips?
I think he will, yeah. So, long or the short, we don't have much hope for Australia.
Red Bull are going to win again.
We'll see what happens, yeah. We'll see what happens.
I mean, I want to say Alonso's going to take a podium, but it just seems as if I'm waiting for the Aston Martin fall. I'm waiting for it. And you know what? When it happens, I want to see that same energy from everyone wearing a green jacket this season.
Yeah. The Alonso hype train is real.
Dog, it's left the station and it's packed.
It's picked up a couple of Tifosi on the way.
You guys were hiking on the route there. Y'all different. Well, let's go to end it from this one. From this one. I was going so well. And then I had to make that one mistake.
English.
Second language things. But anyway, let's go to end the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix edition. We're going into Australia next.
Yeah.
Down under, going to see the best, as usual.
Early race for us, at least. Not one of these late night races, so at least I can get my disappointment over and done with first thing in the morning.
You know what? I'm not doing this. What it did to me last year was criminal.
6 o'clock in the morning race, so I can be back in bed by like 9.
Let me tell you, if it's anything like last year, I'm going to be lined up at UNICEF headquarters by 10 a.m. Because the Grand Prix is probably going to be at 8, it's going to end by 9. By 10 a.m. at UNICEF, and I'm reporting a human rights violation. I cannot be put through that again. Well, we shall further see. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you guys for the next one.
Yeah, live and always in color.